Victor Roy, a 34-year-old AI engineer from Bengaluru, had everything a man could wish for: a promising career, a loving family, and a bright future ahead. But beneath the surface, Victor was living a silent nightmare, one that would ultimately shatter his life. His marriage to Olivia Peterson, which began with hope and excitement, quickly turned toxic. The pressures at home, relentless accusations, and a system that seemed to favor his wife slowly pushed Victor into an emotional abyss, leading to a tragedy that left the world in shock. Victor met Olivia in 2018 through mutual friends. She was beautiful, intelligent, and seemed like the perfect match for him. They married with high hopes, eager to build a life together. In the beginning, everything appeared perfect. Victor's career was thriving, and they were filled with dreams of a happy future. But beneath the surface, cracks began to form. Olivia's behavior, initially subtle, started to change. Small disagreements soon escalated into bigger arguments, and Victor found himself constantly defending himself. Olivia would accuse him of neglecting her, of prioritizing his work over their relationship. What started as occasional tension soon became a daily battle. Victor, who had always been kind and considerate, couldn't understand the growing rift between them. He tried everything to make things work, but nothing seemed enough. As time passed, Olivia's accusations took a darker turn. She claimed Victor was emotionally abusive, controlling, and even violent. These were accusations that Victor could never have imagined in his worst nightmares. He had never raised a hand against her, but the allegations were relentless. Olivia filed police complaints against Victor, accusing him of domestic violence and dowry harassment claims that shook him to the core. His reputation was tarnished, and his life spiraled out of control. He couldn't believe that the woman he loved was now turning against him in such a cruel way. Victor found himself caught in a never-ending legal battle. He had to hire lawyers, defend his name in court, and try to salvage his crumbling marriage. The emotional toll was devastating. His work, once his passion, now seemed like an escape from a reality that was suffocating him. Victor's mental health began to deteriorate as the pressure mounted. He felt alone, isolated, and misunderstood. His once thriving career began to falter as he struggled to focus on anything other than the ongoing conflict. Olivia's family, too, became involved in the turmoil. Her mother, Nisha Peterson, often made cruel remarks that only added to the emotional strain. "You haven't died yet. I thought I would get the news today," she had once said. A remark that Victor could never forget. The constant taunts, the demands for money, and the pressure to settle the conflict drove Victor further into isolation. His own family didn't fully understand what he was going through, advising him to work it out with his wife, and aware of the depth of the emotional abuse he was suffering. As if the emotional and legal battles weren't enough, Olivia's financial demands added another layer of despair. She demanded a staggering $30 million in exchange for ending the harassment and the endless court proceedings. Victor was stunned. Not only was the amount excessive, but the manipulation behind it left him feeling completely betrayed. He had already been paying monthly $400 in maintenance, but this new demand was the breaking point. It seemed that nothing he did was enough. With each new request, Victor's hope for resolution faded even further. The constant accusations, the legal battles, and the emotional manipulation wore Victor down. He withdrew more and more, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy in his life by focusing on his work. But even his passion for AI could no longer shield him from the relentless pain he was experiencing. The isolation became unbearable. Victor turned to friends and family, but many didn't fully grasp the gravity of his situation. Some even told him to just fix things with Olivia. No one seemed to understand the true extent of the emotional abuse he was enduring. Victor's mental health reached a breaking point. His legal team worked tirelessly to defend him, but the court system seemed to favor Olivia's claims. Victor was painted as the villain, while his wife's false accusations continued to overshadow his side of the story. One particularly painful incident, involving a statement from Olivia's mother in the courtroom, left Victor feeling humiliated and defeated. It was clear to him that the system, meant to protect the innocent, was failing him. In the midst of all this turmoil, Victor's son was born. For a brief moment, Victor felt a glimmer of hope. He believed that the arrival of his child could bring some peace to his fractured world, but that hope was short-lived. Olivia, now using their child as leverage in their ongoing battles, made it clear that she would not let him have any peace. Victor's despair deepened as he saw his son caught in the middle of their conflict. In his final act of desperation, Victor wrote a 24-page suicide note. It was his attempt to tell the world his side of the story, to share the pain he had endured in silence. In the note, he recounted the emotional and financial abuse, the false accusations, and the overwhelming toll it had taken on his mind and spirit. He wrote to his son, hoping that one day he would understand why his father couldn't be there to raise him. Victor also recorded an 80-minute video, speaking directly to the camera. In this video, he described the emotional and psychological torture he had endured over the years. He spoke about the false claims, the court battles, and the toll it had taken on him. Victor's message to his son was heartbreaking. He expressed his deep love for him and apologized for not being strong enough to overcome the abuse. He hoped his son would understand that he was not to blame for his father's death.
Will Victor truly take the ultimate step and end his own life, or will he finally find the justice he's been craving? Don't miss the next episode. Like, follow, and subscribe for more gripping stories.